What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to give you guys a very quick warning about the markets and Tesla. Just know that I'm not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on invested cash. Anyways, the market's in a very interesting place. We essentially gapped up only to start dipping. I do see some downside in the markets. One of my favorite plays right now is SPY. I'm going to be kind of quick about this. We cut this rejection candlestick at 600. We have this gap to fill down at 596.5. We could even dip lower if that fails, all the way down to like 595. So there's some potential downside for SPY, at least a 4-point move down from that high at 600. That was a nice short entry right here at this like double top. And if anything, there's still room for this to dip down to fill that gap. If we lose 598, that's going to be a good sign. And so far, SPY is barely holding on to it. So there's a good chance it's going to be dipping. That's why I want to upload this video very quickly. So hopefully the move is not made by the time I finish it and upload it. But anyways, what happened to me today? Here's the answer, guys. To be very honest, I had to drive about 8 hours yesterday due to a family emergency. I arrived home at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I tried waking up at 5 o'clock a.m., which is when I typically wake up to record my videos, but I wasn't feeling that great, so I ended up just resting a little bit longer. Next thing you know, the market opens, and we're just trading, and here I am now. I basically am, I'm awake, I'm alert, I'm doing great, but um, I'm very late compared to usual, but it doesn't matter, guys. I'm still here, and I just want to, provide as much support as I can. So at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the Dallas Fed manufacturing numbers coming out. Might cause a little bit of volatility, but I think most of the volatility came out this morning. It was very volatile so far. As far as Tesla goes, looking at their sales in China, Tesla's introducing a new direct discount. They're doing this to once again help offset this switch to demand. We did see their sales decrease a little bit. I think during the last week, I did talk about that in China. And then, if anything, they're trying to bring more discounts to really push those final month slash end of year sales. And I think that's what Tesla's essentially doing. So that's a good thing that they're doing for the Model Y, which is, it tends to be popular over there. This is going to lead to a lot more changes. So the way this discount works is they are offering a discount about $1,380 on the final payment for the new Model Ys. This is like what the ad kind of looks like right over here. That is going to hopefully help their sales go up. Not to mention the fact that they're subsidizing 0% interest financing, which is pretty huge during times like these. So great news for Tesla. Anyways, besides that news, just know that for Tesla, as far as we're going, we called out 362.5 in my last video. I said I do expect Tesla to test that. And if you guys look, we did actually test it this morning. That's exactly where the top happened to be, right? But we didn't hold above that. We didn't break this resistance up here. We got a rejection instead. So we're looking for 344 as our potential target if we can't hold above 350. So keep that in mind. That's our 4-hour 20 EMA. If the market gets a dip, this could drag Tesla lower. But watch that 350 support to see if Tesla holds this. Otherwise, we could be dipping for 344. We have resistance up here to watch for around this 355 area in the mid 350s. Get back above that. I'm looking for essentially 357.5, then eventually 360. Right now, I'm seeing a weakness building in the market, which could drag Tesla lower. So look at that 350 support. We'll see if we hold that or not. Otherwise, there is a risk of 344. And if that fails, this will be dip all the way down towards like 338. But just know we're holding our 20 EMA very nicely. If we do touch like this 344 area, we could try to bounce. So we'll see if Tesla pivots there or not. But just know there is that risk of downside in the market. As far as SPY goes, like I was saying, hopefully this move is not big by the time I upload this video, or at least beforehand, right? Hopefully it takes a little bit of time to pan out, but we are getting a rejection candlestick right here. If this 598 area fails on SPY, we fill the gap for 596.5, and we could even dip lower to like 595 or so if that fails. But if anything, there's a nice trade setup right there. For NQ, we're rejecting right over here. We need to reclaim sorry, not NQ, Nvda. We need, excuse me, we need to reclaim 140. Otherwise, we're at risk of 135.8. Not to mention 132.5 if that fails us. For now, we're just looking at 135.8 as the main support. We'll see if we pivot there or not. If we don't hold that key support, we're going to be dumping even lower. So just keep that in mind. There's a risk of some downside. For Bitcoin, It looks more bearish to me. We're going to be looking for this 95,200 area to hold. If it does not hold, we could be dipping all the way down to 19,300 and 93,500. Sorry about that, guys. 93,500 is next. If we lose 95,300, if we hold this, we could attempt to rebound, but we also have this resistance right here at 96,000 as previous support becoming resistance. So watch 95,200 is our support. If that fails us, we dip lower. If not, we could retest 96,000, but that's still going to be a tough resistance. We called out how if we hit 100,000, we do expect a small decline because it's a very psychological level for profit taking and such. That's what happened thus far. As far as Tesla goes, there's the double top. Don't forget about that. We're barely holding 350, so I'm seeing some weakness building. NQ is rejecting as well. We're looking for essentially 20,800 as our potential target. If we can't reclaim 21,000, I do see that potentially coming. For QQQ, we push to about the 512 area only to reject. We have a gap to fill down to about the 506 area. If 506 does not hold, we're looking for 503.8 to 504 as our target. If that fails us, we dip all the way down closer to 500. So watch those supports. We have this resistance to watch for around this 508 area, not to mention 510, but I do see risk with dipping back down for just around 504 if that rejects. Apple came all the way up towards this 232 area. We need to try to break that. If we don't hold above 232, there is a risk of us returning to 230. So we'll have to see how well it holds above that. And then we also happen to reject at 233.25. So watch 233.25 is our main resistance. 232 is one of our supports. If it doesn't hold, we could dip a little bit closer to 230. Otherwise, I think Apple's going to shuffle around those areas. Netflix dipped exactly as predicted. I did expect 888, and I said if that does not hold, we're looking for us to test our 20 EMA. We're testing 579.8 is the main support on Netflix. It was due to pull back a little bit, especially because we were talking about this like rising wedge that was forming on it. So if that fails, I think we could be dipping closer to this imbalance at 862. But if 880 holds, we could attempt to rebound for uh, just under 900, like 894. So there is a risk of downside on this. I am seeing that it was due for this, not really a surprise. MSTR, same setup, it's rejecting here. We need to try to get back above 450. Otherwise, there is a risk of it basically retesting 400. And if 400 doesn't hold, we look for 375. It's kind of stuck between these EMAs. So, like, it attempted to rebound to 450 only to reject. So, watch this range between 422 and 375. If 375 fails, we could be dipping lower. Otherwise, it's just range bound. For the IWM Russell 2000, we're pushing very nicely. This is very strong. It started off with a little bit of a dip. We do have that gap to fill. So if 240 ever breaks, you're looking for that gap fill back down to the low 239 area. But as long as we're above 242.5, we remain more bullish and we're looking for these much higher levels. So to me, we could be pushing for 245 if we try to hold above 244. And then we could even go higher. It's really outperforming the market so far as small caps are pushing. But just know this is the main support where my cursor is right here at 242. If that fails us, we dip lower. Just let me go over just 5 more. If coin does not hold above 307, it's going to likely shuffle between 290 and 307, just being range bound. We need to break 3, like right over here, around this like 315 area to really start pushing. Otherwise, it's just range bound to me. Kind of lackluster, just like Bitcoin. Amazon is to get back above 200. If it does not hold above 200, I do see a risk of it slowly coming back down to like 197. Meta, I want to see it hold above 570 flats to turn bullish. We have resistance to watch for 567.25 at the 50 EMA. If we don't hold above that, we're at risk of coming down to 564. Microsoft has like a double top if we don't hold above 420. So we called out how it was going to push, but watch and see if it rejects. Because I mentioned that there was a high here, it came down, made a lower high, it came down, and it made it almost an equal high, but it's now rejecting again near 420. So it needs to hold above 416. Otherwise, I see a risk of basically 413. As far as Google goes, we could be pushing closer to about 171. And we'll see if you reject or not. But I do think this is going to outperform the market, try to push for that 171 area. So keep that all in mind. So, anyways, as far as Tesla goes, we're kind of shuffling at 350. We're not doing a great job at holding above it. I do see a risk of Tesla dipping closer to our 20 EMA because of that. Notice that SPY is currently at 598, but we are forming a potential rejection on the 4 hour, which could lead to some downside later on. So watch and see if we lose 598. If that happens, we are expecting around 596 or so, at least on SPY, if not below that. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, I'm doing completely fine, guys. I'm doing great. If anything, just was a little bit late because of how long I drove yesterday and my timing and such. So I just want to thank you all so much for listening. Please have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you and peace out.